psychologist. Now, this webinar and its contents are not individualized medical or mental health treatment. This webinar is not therapy or a replacement for it. They are options for the purpose of awareness about your autonomic nervous system and self-care options. The first step towards supporting your autonomic nervous system is being aware of what it is and ways you can engage in options of self-care. Now, individual results may vary. Please do consult your personal healthcare provider for personalized advice. Your history, your story, your life, it will make a difference on what type of support you may need, and also what activities and practices and exercises are suitable for you. We do sometimes do body-based exercises, not in this webinar, where we do get you to move and do certain movements that might not be okay for you if you have an injury or a back problem, for example. Okay, one last time, this is not an individualized treatment plan. If you want or require an individualized treatment plan created for your health and mental health, please see your own personal healthcare provider or psychologist if you already have one. So, to the fun stuff. Let's start with, what do I mean when I say start reclaiming your nervous system? Reclaiming your nervous system means to start feeling more confident in your capacity to cope, support yourself, and feel that you have some sort of control and influence over your emotions, sensations, and thoughts. It may be that your nervous system has done a wonderful job in keeping you safe or helping you achieve what you had to, but you have been in a state of chronic stress for so long that it does not need to do that part of its job right now. Claiming back your nervous system is to start claiming back a part of yourself, rediscovering practices, rituals, and activities that bring you back to yourself and connect you back to parts of yourself. Whether that is your body, certain muscle groups, for example. An example I can actually give is, for years when I was younger, I was a dancer, for 20 years or so. Now, in adult life, what I have found is yoga brings me back to that practice of dance and the stretching and the connecting to my body. And this integrates me back into my body, but also a part of myself which I identify with. We can call it the dancer, which is really deeply ingrained in me and my story, and also my muscle memory. I talk about this and why it's important later on, but your life's experiences, they really do imprint into your nervous system. Okay, it is not just about self-care or supporting yourself. It is about building confidence in yourself as well. Have regular practice and having rituals which you regularly use build self-confidence, because you start to feel confident in your ability to cope with life, to cope with different situations, to cope with having to be able to perform within different roles within your life the way that you want to perform within them. This is foundational work, and I hope you get some guidance today around what your first steps to reclaiming your nervous system are, but also maybe ways that you can start claiming back parts of yourself or a part of yourself that you've been disconnected from. If we haven't met, hello, I am Natasha. You may or may not know, because I've already said it a few times today, that I am a registered psychologist here in Australia. I have over 13 years of training in the field of psychology, been working with women to support their mental health for over 8 years now, mainly in private practice, but in some other settings too. I have founded 2 online psychology businesses, as I am incredibly passionate about bringing the psychology world online. The first is Graciously You Psychological Services, which is a telehealth practice in which I provide support to girls and women all over Australia. Then the business which probably brought you here, which is Gracefully Redefine You, which is all about giving women access to evidence-based, psychologist-led courses and resources. Now, I know you're not here to hear me talk about myself, shocker, but what we will do is we'll keep going onto those 7 steps of learning about reclaiming your nervous system. Step 1 is the most talked about steps Okay, now, well, no, let me rephrase that. One of the first and most talked about steps to reclaiming your nervous system is awareness. However, there is a step before it, because you can't be aware of something until you learn about it, so you know what to be aware of and then how to tap into it, nourish it, and grow it in a way that is authentic and works for you. I like to say knowledge is power, and gaining knowledge about your body, mind, nervous system really is the first step to reclaiming it. Today, we are going to go a bit deeper into this so you can start taking that first step. You will also learn about what I have identified as the first 7 steps to reclaiming your nervous system. However, if you want practical tools, you will get a tiny taster today, but those and the more in-depth teachings are in my courses. If you stick around until the end, I'm going to tell you a bit more about those very briefly, and a time-limited bonus if you buy my course Revitalize in the next 72 hours after this webinar gets sent to you. I've extended that time because I didn't get the recording out when I was going to, okay? So from time that you get the webinar, the bonus will be live on the website for an additional 72 hours. Okay, if knowledge is the first step, today I'm going to teach you about your nervous system by introducing you to the concept of the window of tolerance. This term is created by Dan Siegel, if you have or haven't heard of him, to help describe the reactions of your brain and body, which they have following an adverse experience or an adverse period of time in your life. It can also help you to better understand how you cope with emotions when an experience is either within your window of tolerance or outside of it.